Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 8th of January 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. Now, I gotta I don't know how to phrase this. I need your guys' help. So as you see, working with a new microphone here, got a whole new setup because the old one was about 4 or 5 years old. Starting to hear some cracks and pops in it and whatnot. The new setup's not completely done yet. Still need to get couple more things for this mic, but I need your guys' help letting me know how this sounds. Do I need to make it louder? Is it too loud? Do I need to raise this up, that up? Let me know your thoughts as you listen to tonight's podcast. Let me know either in the live chat, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, let me know how it sounds in the comments below if you are watching later and not watching live. But we're here to talk about Friday Night Smackdown, as for the first time in a while, I was actually kind of bored of tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, and I haven't said that since before Survivor Series, since before Hell in a Cell, since before they started Roman J. Uso. To be completely honest, I haven't said that I was bored watching SmackDown in a long time, like in a while. And I was bored for a lot of tonight's show. But with that, remember, you guys can help us out a couple of different ways. If you're here on Twitch, you can hit that donation button down below. You can go over and give us some Twitch bits, or you can subscribe to the channel one of two ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, not only do you get to watch all those cool shows on Amazon, all those Amazon movies like Coming to America in March, but you get one free subscription to any Twitch streamer that you want to support throughout the month, and we would greatly appreciate it if you gave us that support. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can give us a Super Chat donation, and all Super Chat donations do get read live on the air. But with that, let's talk about SmackDown that kicked off with the big dog, the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman all came down to the ring to open up SmackDown. As they slowly, and I mean slowly, walked down to the ring, Michael Cole and Corey Graves discussed the Gauntlet Match taking place later tonight. The Gauntlet Match will crown the number one contender for Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So Reigns praised Kevin Owens and claimed that he never really wanted to hurt him. He blamed Owens for making him attack him last week. Reigns said that he loves the entire roster and they're his family. He said he was furious that people are blaming him for the injuries that Owens had suffered. Reigns said that people should blame Adam Pearce for that because, well, Adam Pearce is the one that made the match. Yeah, Adam Pearce made the match, but Roman, he didn't have to. Oh, how do I phrase this? Adam Pearce ain't the one that told you to come out afterwards and beat his ass. Just saying. Reigns then demanded that Adam Pearce come down to the ring. Heyman was ballistic trying to get Pearce to come out because Pearce wouldn't come out at first. Pearce then finally came down to the ring and got in Reigns' face. They basically recapped everything that happened last week, as Roman said, I'm not going to say any words, just watch this video first. And so they watched the recap of everything that took place last week, the vicious beating to Kevin Owens. After the recap, Reigns said that he wanted Pearce to take responsibility and be a man. He pointed out that he was done with Kevin Owens and wanted to move on. He then insisted that Owens, his friend, gave him, I guess you'd say, preferential treatment. He goes, what do you even do here, Pearce? I know what I do. This is my show. I do whatever I want. Uso then stood behind Pearce and glared at him. Reigns noted that Pearce gave Owens the match even though he knew he shouldn't have. He was furious that Pearce made a gauntlet match tonight as well for a shot at the Universal Championship. But why is he furious? My question is, why is Roman furious when he just said, I want to move on? So if you move on, you need a new challenger. Okay, gauntlet match to crown a new challenger. The whole, I'm furious about the Gauntlet match. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Pierce then said that he's just trying to make the best match possible. Reigns wondered if Pierce is going to put himself in the match tonight. Pierce said that he would not do that, and that would be a conflict of interests. Reigns became more and more upset and wondered if Pierce thinks that Reigns is stupid. He handed the title to Heyman and grabbed Pierce. Reigns backed him into a corner. He noted that Pierce doesn't respect him, which means he doesn't respect his family. Pierce was terrified and begged Roman to stop. And here's my fucking thing. So, Randy Orton puts his hands on Adam Pearce, gets fined. Braun Strowman puts his hands on Adam Pearce, knocks Adam Pearce down, gets indefinitely suspended. Fucking Roman Reigns backs him into a corner, puts his hands on him, shoves him into the corner, whatever, and Pearce cries about it. Please stop, Roman, stop. If anyone's getting preferential treatment, it's fucking Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? If anybody is getting preferential treatment, it's Roman, who's not going to get reprimanded for putting his hands on an official, even though we've seen twice in the last 2-3 months, guys put their hands on Adam Pearce and get reprimanded. So, Roman, if anybody's getting special treatment, you, buddy boy. It's you. Reigns quickly would calm down. He said that maybe nobody called each other stupid. Reigns tapped Pearce on the shoulder and walked off with Heyman and Jay. I thought it was a good opening segment, but some things didn't make a little sense or whatever. You know what I mean? Next up, we had a match that didn't make much sense. It was the Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Apollo Crews. We had all this match, and then we ended up getting a second match because the first match was all fucked up. I know it was the story, and it was what it was written for them to do, but it was no bueno. Crews and Big E had a really good match with lots of hard-hitting, fast-paced action. Crews hit a dropkick at one point and a big boot for a near fall right as the bell rang. Big E fought back and hit a big splash on the apron. Crews regained control and hit a splash in the corner. He followed this up with 3 rolling German suplexes for a near fall. Big E rolled to the floor, and Crews caught him with a moonsault on the apron. Crews backed Big E into the corner and set him up for a superplex. They briefly fought on the top rope, but Crews hit that superplex. Then, they did the Randy Savage Dynamite Kid finish, where both men came down. Both men got their feet up, and the referee counted 3 because their shoulders were both down. Stupid. I hate these finishes where it's like, oh, both guys, got counted out, or both guys got pinned at the same time, and you know what they're going to do. And as they did tonight, they restarted the match. Hot Rod Bubba in the chat says Adam Pearce is not a wrestler. Actually, he used to be a wrestler. Adam Pearce is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So after the match, the referee is like, hey, both of your shoulders were down. I counted. That's what we got to go with. And Apollo's like, whoa, Big E, you're just going to let this stand? You're just going to take the win like that? And Big E goes, hey, I don't make the rules. Well, Apollo Crews slaps him. So Big E attacks him and says, ring that bell. And restart the match. So they restart the match, and Big E ran wild, hitting a series of belly-to-belly suplexes. Crews hit a huge frog splash for a close near fall. He followed this up with a standing moonsault for another near fall. Big E went for a big ending, but Crews hit an enziguri. Crews then charged at Big E, but he caught him in a uranagi. He followed this up with the big ending, picked up the victory, and decisively pinned Apollo Crews right in the middle of the ring. So Big E does successfully defend the title tonight. Next up in the back, we see Adam Pearce on the phone when Sonya Deville would make her way into the room. And I guess Sonya ain't wrestling. She's going to be Adam Pearce's assistant. He said he's happy to have her back. Deville noted that she's not bitter, even though her former best friend beat her in a Loser Leaves Town match, went to Raw, and then started a new tag team. Deville pointed out that Adam Pearce is very busy running both Raw and SmackDown and might need a little bit of help. Pearce quickly noted that he's not in the match later after Sonya said, hey, you putting yourself in the match? He's like, no, I'm not. I haven't wrestled in 6 years. And he was like, I haven't wrestled in 6 years. That's when my last match was. I'm not wrestling. So he said that, and then they just cut out. That was it. He was like, I'm not wrestling. I haven't had a match in 6 years. And I was like, okay, we'll see how that goes. So I think the new girl's name is Elise Ashton. She interviewed Bianca Belair. She talked about the Royal Rumble. At Bianca Belair is entering the Royal Rumble. Bayley would then interrupt and wonder if Belair eliminated Bayley from the match last year. Belair pointed out that Bayley wasn't even in the match last year. Bayley bragged about being the champion last year, and then Belair said, yeah, well, I'm going to eliminate you this year because you're not the champion, so you can be in the match. And I think Bianca Belair has the record with Shayna Baszler of the most eliminations in a women's Royal Rumble match. I want to say that's at 8. So they recapped Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode jumping the Street Profits last week. They show the Sports Illustrated ranked Sasha Banks as the top wrestler of 2020. In the back, Carmella was enjoying some champagne with Reginald. She sarcastically praised Banks. She then claimed that Banks doesn't have her talent. So then, tag title match. Street Profits defending against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I thought this match was really good. All 4 guys worked hard, and they told a good story in this match with the injury angle to Montez Ford. So Michael Cole and Corey Graves, like early on, wondered if Ford is injured because Dawkins started off the match. And I'm like, injured? Huh? But this plays into what happens later. Because I hadn't heard anything about a Montez Ford injury or anything. Dawkins had the early advantage and hit a drop kick on Ziggler for a 2. Dawkins dropped Ford on Ziggler for a near fall, but Ziggler went after the injured leg. So they were playing this whole injury thing up, and I'm still like, where'd the injury come from? The heels isolated Ford on their side of the ring and cut him off from Dawkins. Ford tried to fight back and sent the heels to the floor. He would follow it up with a huge dive, but when he did, he landed awkwardly on his knee, like his knee buckled, and he sold it all the way through the next commercial and whatnot. Back from the break, Dawkins was running wild on Roode while hitting a twisting splash. Ford was walking around ringside trying to sell the knee and get life back into it. He's like trying to get the blood pumping again, as they say. Dawkins considered tagging Ford, but then decided not to because Ford, I don't even think Ford had barely even been able to get up on the apron. The heels quickly took control and got the advantage. The heels isolated Dawkins on their side of the ring, and Ziggler slowed the pace down with a front face lock. Roode got the hot tag and hit a neck breaker for a 2. Roode and Ziggler then threw Dawkins. Roode threw Ziggler into Dawkins, but he moved out of the way. Ziggler crashed hard into the corner. Dawkins sent Roode to the floor and attempted to tag Ford. Roode pulled Ford off the apron, but he fought back anyways. Ford finally got the hot tag and ran wild. He hit a discus lariat and on Ziggler for a close near fall. Ford climbed to the top rope for a frog splash, but Roode tried to stop him. Ford knocked down Roode, and Ziggler ran up and dropped Ford on his face. Ziggler went for the super kick, but Ford hit a super kick of his own for a close near fall. Roode and Dawkins then fought on the apron. Roode took out Dawkins from the match here. Ford then used a sunset flip on Ziggler and got a near fall. Ziggler attacked the injured leg again to regain control. Roode used the perfect plex for a near fall. Roode attempted the glorious DDT, but Ford fought out of it. The heels then took back over. The finish, though, then came, and I didn't expect to see this, when Roode and Ziggler hit a spine-buster zigzag combo, pinning Ford to pick up the victory. Yes, we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions in Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Again, didn't see this one coming. I know how much everybody on the main roster loves Street Profits, but when you really think about it, they can't hold the titles forever. Someone's got to beat them. And what other team is there on SmackDown? This team, Like, if you look at other heel teams on SmackDown, you've got Roode and Ziggler, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Can't think of any others. But new tag team champions in Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. It was a glorious day for these two guys. So in the back, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville discussed the title match. Paul Heyman entered the office and praised Pearce. He brought up Pearce's past as Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. Heyman noted that Pearce is excellent at his job, but his dream was to be a wrestler. Heyman said he pulled some strings, and Pearce is now competing in the Gauntlet match tonight. And I go, who did he pull some strings to? I thought Adam Pearce was the guy in charge. Did Paul go straight to Vince McMahon himself? In the back, Billie Kay approached Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. She asked to join the Riott Squad, but they turned her down. She started to cry, so Morgan tried to comfort her. Kay assumed that meant she was a member of the Riott Squad. Kay said she's been preparing to join the Riott Squad already. She started listening to Blink-182 music and added mosh pitting to her resume. I thought this was funny-ish. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was a good time filler, funny segment. Then we get our Gauntlet match with about 30 minutes or so left in the show. Gauntlet match starts off with Rey Mysterio and Sami Zayn. Before the match, Zayn came out with a documentary crew. He said that once he heard there was a Gauntlet match. He demanded WWE management put him in the match. Zayn was furious that WWE management put him first, though. He said that there is obviously a conspiracy against him. He has a crew here to uncover the plot of that conspiracy. So this match starts off. It's Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn. Mysterio hits Zayn with a dropkick right as the bell rung. 619, splash, pin, bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Sami's gone. Next up, we get Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura and Mysterio had a good little match here. Corbin attacked after the match. Didn't make much sense because he attacks Mysterio. Mysterio was pinned by Shinsuke Nakamura. So it's like, Corbin, why are you attacking the guy you're not fighting? Why are you attacking the other guy that's already out? Because Nakamura pinned him. Like I said, Nakamura and Mysterio had a really good match. At one point, Mysterio fought off Nakamura, who had blocked a sliding dropkick and hit a knee. Nakamura placed Mysterio on the top turnbuckle at one point, and Mysterio fought back and hit a seated senton. The finish of these two's portion of the match came when Mysterio hit a 619 and went for the splash, but Nakamura got his knees up on the splash. Nakamura then locked in an armbar, and Mysterio tapped out. So again, like I stated, I get it, but I don't get it. Yeah, Corbin's feuding with the Mysterios, but it's like, why would you attack Rey when you should attack the guy you're fighting? Give me 1 second, guys. Ban this guy in the chat. There we go. Next up, we had Nakamura versus King Corbin. Corbin drove Nakamura back first into the ring post on the floor. Corbin continued to beat down Nakamura. Nakamura fought back and hit a knee off the second turnbuckle. He set up for the Kinshasa, but Corbin countered with a deep six for a near fall. Nakamura then caught Corbin with the triangle, but Corbin countered with a powerbomb for a near fall. The finish then came when Nakamura hit a Kinshasa on Corbin to pick up the victory and advance to, holy crap, yep, we got it, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan, who had a really, really good match. Bryan jumped Nakamura right as the match started and sent him to the floor. He followed this up with a suicide dive. Nakamura fought back and set up for a Kinshasa. Bryan countered with a half and half, crab, and a transition ankle lock. Nakamura then tried to get to his feet, but Bryan hit a German suplex for a close near fall. Bryan rocked Nakamura with yes kicks, but Nakamura avoided the last kick. Nakamura locked on an armbar, and Bryan countered with an armbar of his own. Nakamura then went back to the armbar, and Bryan countered with a roll-up for a near fall. Bryan then rocked Nakamura with a series of kicks in the corner. He followed this up with 2 running drop kicks, and Bryan then went for a third, but Nakamura hit that Kinshasa to pick up the victory. Excuse me. Nakamura hits the Kinshasa, pins Daniel Bryan, goes 3-0. After the match, the two kind of go face to face, and then they shake hands. Next up, well, I guess it was supposed to be Adam Pearce, but Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso all come out instead. And there wasn't any match here. This wasn't a match at all. More of an angle. Pearce reluctantly walked down to the ring behind all the heels. Graves praised Pearce past as far as him as a wrestler, but Cole said Pearce wasn't good enough to make it to WWE. Fuck. What kind of shot is that, Michael Cole? I'm like, fuck. Basically, Michael Cole said, yeah, Adam Pearce may have had a great career, but as a wrestler, WWE never got him, never hired him, never wanted him. Uso and Reigns jumped in the ring and viciously began to beat down Nakamura. Super kicks, Superman punches, big splashes. There was no mention of Nakamura's tag team partner Cesaro, or no explanation why he didn't come out to help him. It's like, you've got a best friend, and he didn't even come out to help you. Even to come out and get his ass beat by Roman and Jey. No, nothing. Bullshit. So, if I was Nakamura, I'd say, fuck you, Cesaro. We ain't a tag team no more. Reigns then threw Pearce into the ring. Uso knocked Pearce out with a super kick. Reigns then ordered referee, ring that bell. And the ref didn't ring the bell at first. He then drags Pearce on top of Nakamura and said, count. The referee then counts 1, 2, 3 as technically Adam Pearce wins the match. But when the fuck was this match made a no disqualification match? Because Nakamura technically should be the winner after that first super kick from Jey Uso. Or what are they trying to say? Ooh, the match never started. The bell never rang before Pearce got in the ring, so none of that counted, and not a DQ. Fuck off, mate. Piss off. Anyways, I thought the end of this show was god-awful, stupid, dumb. Roman's music plays. As they let us know, Adam Pearce will be challenging Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Universal Championship. SmackDown had been good for the last 4 months. Now, with this show, this is fucking dumb bullshit. I was bored through most of this show. There were some good moments in the Gauntlet. I'll give it that. But then the show ends shittily. And it's just like, fuck. Really? I would have honestly rather seen Roman Reigns and Goldberg. Nothing against Adam Pearce. Nothing against Adam Pearce. But it's like, Pearce said it. I haven't had a match in 7 years. So who knows how good he's even going to look and be in this match. And what is this going to be? A 90-second squash at the Royal Rumble for Roman? No. Here's my theory. So, they kept saying how his friend is Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is his friend, and Roman is done with Kevin Owens. But Adam Pearce gave Kevin Owens preferential treatment. I think, in the end, this is going to end up Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns somehow. I think somehow Pearce is going to get himself out of the match and put Kevin Owens into the match. Crappy way to get to it. I get it. They don't want to just go, oh, Kevin gets another shot. Why? Because he can. So there's going to be some sort of a way, I believe, that's going to lead to Pearce out, Owens in. Just my opinion. But that's my opinion. Now I want to hear your opinions. I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. You can do so by texting into 510-906-1341. Numbers right there, bottom of the screen, and in your live chat. So the first text message here says, this is my problem with WWE Creative. Why are they putting Adam Pearce against Roman, who retired in 2014? Me, I'd rather see Damian Priest. I mean, so would I. But like I stated, I think it's going to ultimately end up Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. I mean, the plan for Damian... So my theory also goes into what the original plan for Damian Priest was. Damian Priest was supposed to come in as Kevin Owens' friend. But Kevin said, no one would believe us as friends. So now they keep building up the fact that Adam Pearce is Kevin Owens' friend. So I think this is all because of that, and where they wanted to go with the Damian Priest stuff, and where they're going to go with Kevin Owens, because we know, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns ain't done. It's going to end up. And you guys can clip this and prove me wrong if I'm wrong. But I think it's going to end up Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Royal Rumble. 2017 all over again. Put Jay up in that shark cage. Versus Adam Pearce was a great wrestler. I see him and Roman having a banger at the Royal Rumble. No, I wouldn't. Again, Pearce hasn't wrestled in 6 years. Person says, the main event tonight on SmackDown was okay, but I have 2 questions for you. Do you see Roman Reigns retaining his title over... I'm not even going to read the rest of that. Yes. Yes and yes, 419 in the text bin. Both champions will retain. Actually, I can't say both. I'm assuming both champions will retain. Roman ain't losing his belt, and I don't think Drew's going to lose his belt. Versus says, so is Nakamura a babyface now? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It'd be nice to see it turn. It wouldn't be bad. And this person here says 2 questions. What's the point of the ending? I thought Shinsuke Nakamura was going to be a nice baby. Like I said, it's all leading probably Kevin Owens getting into this match instead of what's his name? Adam Pearce. And the second question is Apollo Crews finally going to turn heel? It could be a good change for him, for his character. What do you think about it? Well, he can be a good heel. We've seen before he came to WWE when he was Yuhan Nation, he was a heel, and he played that heel role very well. WWE tried, I think, last year to turn him heel. It lasted like 2 weeks, and they turned him back babyface. So he can play a good heel. He's an amazing babyface, don't get me wrong. I think he's an amazing babyface, but we have seen on the indies, Yuan Nation, great heel. No, they could. I don't know if tonight is. I think tonight was more of like, hey, if you respect me, you'll let this match restart. You're not going to let this match end like that. I don't think that was a heel turn of sorts for Apollo Crews. And finally, this last section says, why can't they turn Sami babyface and make him KO best friends? I mean, they can, but Sami Zayn is too good as a heel. I think Sami Zayn is just too great, too amazing, too fantastic in his role. And if you take that away from him, he's just going to be like any other babyface on the roster. So as long as he's a heel, he's actually got a role where he's going to have some sort of a prominence on the show. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. You can follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and you can follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. We'll be back again on Monday to talk about Monday Night Raw. So with that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. All right, if you're